Graspop 2019, we are at day 3, and recently these fields have been turned into swamps by Clutch. Mr. Neil Fallon, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Likewise.
How's the tour been so far?
It's been great. It's been a bit of a butt kicker, a lot of these festivals and, flying, but, it goes with the territory.
Yeah.
We played in Copenhagen last night, and we got here today, and then we do Hellfest tomorrow, and that's it. So almost done.
So like a mini tour in a way.
Yeah, compared to some of our other tours, this is very short.
Escape from the studio, or is that kind of the vibe you're going for?
Well, we did a tour in the States. We had quite a bit of time off, and we recorded some songs that we're going to be releasing throughout the summer. Mm-hmm. And we got a couple of U.S. tours, and then coming back to Europe in December. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to be working on a new record anytime in the immediate future.
Okay.
But hopefully, this time next year we'll be well on our way.
Yeah, because you've released some video material about you doing covers in the studio. For instance, Cactus, and Carmine Appice even liked it. He said, "How cool is that?"
Yeah, that was very gratifying to get approval from the man himself.
I can imagine, yeah.
There was something, we were home for a while and that was great, but we kind of got bored. And we were like, so what do we do? And then, it's kind of good to learn cover songs because it's a bit like going to school. Yeah. Like trying to figure, why would they write this riff this way or make this decision? And it's just a good way to keep busy and, put music out there instead of, waiting for a whole album to come out again.
The hill country is far away from Maryland.
Yeah.
Do you, in a way, feel the same vibe of the Mississippi blues guys?
Well, to be honest, that's pretty much what I listen to at home in my free time. So anything that you listen to is going to be an influence. But as I get older, I appreciate those, historic acts more and more because you can trace back the lineage, even from an extreme metal band doing blast beats right now, to one guy with a guitar.
Fife and drum bands.
Yeah. And I think going to the source is always more inspiring than, the peers. Not that I think, contemporaries are bad, but I like the old recordings. They're kind of mysterious.
Yeah. Do you know the Mississippi records and those kind of Fat Possum? Is that the kind of vibe you're into? Like the guys who had access to electric guitars but didn't really know how to use them?
Yeah, those are, great examples, but the internet, I think a lot of people have kind of complained that it maybe ruined like the traditional music industry, but the thing is there are so many artists out there that I have encountered because whatever, YouTube or someone sending me a link, and it just opened up this whole world that I wouldn't have been able to listen to otherwise. And I feel like there's a lot of homework that I need to do listening to this stuff. And it's I think it's just fun, really. There's no other justification for it.
Oh yeah. So it's not like you build your creative output on the new stuff you listen to or the new old stuff you encounter.
Clutch writes riffs the exact same way we did when we were in high school together. Someone plays, we just jam, and then something cool happens accidentally, and the other guys say, "Hey, what was that?" And then try to recreate it, and sometimes you can't. But I think that the democracy that we are is hopefully the sum is greater than the parts. Where if you have an idea, it's kind of boring if you want it just to be exactly as you envisioned it. It's when things change and John Paul puts a beat on it, and all of a sudden the one gets turned around. That's the fun part, is the unexpected.
But there is a difference, though, in between a song like Binge and Purge from your early stuff, which is a fight song, basically, and a song like Gimme the Keys. There's a huge evolution between those two. So did your way of writing change?
I think our idea of what we could and could not do. I mean, when our very early material, we were teenagers. Yeah. And I think most teenagers, and we're no exception, have a very narrow view of what their music should be. Mm-hmm. And hopefully as you get older, you learn more and you're willing to try things. I can't imagine what it would be like trying to do 12 different versions of Transnational Speedway League. I would lose my mind. And I think Clutch fans kind of like it when we do something that's a little different. And if you don't like the new stuff, that's okay. I'm not crying. We do this for ourselves.
Yeah. But when you play a song now, when you write a song today, and one tour or two tours afterwards, it will be a different song when you play it live.
Yeah, and we're thinking about re-recording some old songs because of that. It's changed. I know I can sing a lot of these songs better. One thing that we've learned is that it's always best to write a song and play it live as many times as you can before you hit the record button. Yeah. The songs that we wrote in the studio, like the day before we recorded it, there's countless things I would want to change, because I didn't have the luxury of practicing it over and over and over again. So, and it's our music, so if we want to re-record it, who's to say no?
Yeah, especially when you have your own label now, where you're making music. Is that a way of keeping control of the creative output and the whole business side of things?
Yeah, in a nutshell. I mean, we didn't start it thinking, okay, we're going to be like Epitaph and sign a bunch of bands, because that's too much. Really what it is that it's a way for the band to get the music to the fans directly with a lot of middle people. And I think fans like the idea of getting it directly from the band instead of a third party. Yeah. We did the major label thing in the 90s, and one of the big things we always bickered about was, well, we were ready to make a new record, and the label said no. I was like, well, why are we here then? So I think our careers span two different times of the music industry, and we kind of lucked out. We got tour support in the 90s from these labels, so we could open up for Slayer or Pantera.
Full beats.
And then later on, when people started file sharing, we started going to places that we hadn't sold any records and selling out huge clubs, like Athens, Greece, for as an example. Yeah. So we were lucky in that regard. It's a lot of hard work. Yeah. But I'm not envious of new bands these days, because they have to get heard over all the noise that's out there.
But I think it's also a way of when you re-release a record you did back in the day on vinyl nowadays, it's a gatefold, it folds open, it's with all these kinds of extra information, it's a double vinyl. Is that a way of giving your music back to the fans as well, or?
I think so. And hard rock metal fans, I think, are still very much into the physical copy, more so than compared to hip hop or EDM, where it's fine to listen to it on your phone. We're releasing these songs digitally, but that's not to say that, and streaming them, that we won't put that on a physical copy down the line once we get enough of them. It's sort of an experiment to see how this works out, but we definitely haven't said goodbye to vinyl records, because people like them, especially in this genre.
Especially in this genre, absolutely. You have some other projects, or you had some other projects as well, the Bakerton Group, company bands. Can we expect some output from them as well in the future, or?
I don't see that happening, mainly because, I know those are great fun, but Clutch is kind of on a roll right now, and you're gonna have to roll, when the opportunity presents itself, keep going. And I like writing lyrics, and we like, but Clutch is the number one priority, and I don't see how we could do that. But you never know, it's, those guys write more songs than I could possibly write lyrics to. That's why one of the reasons the Bakerton Group existed, because there's okay, we wrote 20 songs, and I'm like, okay, I've got 2 ideas.
Mr. Neil Fallon, thank you so much.
Hey, sure, my pleasure.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, right on.